Tiverton, Rhode Island, the Sanford & Sons Auto. J&S Auto Pizza Hollywood, number 15, that's Don Detlinger Jr. Outside of Don, out of Fairhaven, Mass., the J&J Seafood Drive-In, number 93, for John Pennard. Dave Petty Jr. starts third on the field. Outside of Dave, the 41, that's Pete Roeder. Fifth on the field out of Foxborough, Mass., the 120 of Jeff Waterman. Outside of Jeff, the Snap-on Tools, RE Enterprises, Coleman Realty, number 77, that's Bill Horse. Lenny McQuaid starts seventh on the field, driving the Colonial Tire, Frank's Automotive Service, number 45. Outside of him, out of Fall River, Mass., the yellow line is in front of him. Green flag is out, and they're underway. Dellinger jumps out to a bit of a quick lead. Pennard jumps high on the track as he drops just a few positions. That allows Pete, the 57 of David Petty, with a great move to jump out to the front. Pete Roeder right there behind, jumps into second. Detlinger drops back to third. Pennard high off the corner, crawling back again. Oh, contact between the 77 and the 21, but the 21 scraping the front stretch wall as he flattens that right front tire, and that's going to end his heat event. He'll be back in the consolation later on. Petty still holding the lead. Pete Roeder right behind, but they've opened up a bit of a lead over the rest of the field. The 120. That's Jeff Waterman sits in third. He started back in fifth and worked his way up. Lenny McQuaid and Pete and Rob Rotundo round out the top five. Roeder gets right on the back bumper of the 57 of Petty. Both cars have qualified as they sit now. Roeder looks underneath off the front straightaway. Nobody wants to make a move that's going to be detrimental to their qualifying spot. A little bit of contact between Roeder and Petty, but that's racing. Waterman sideways off the second corner. McQuaid right there in fourth. Rotundo and Weston, your top five cars. Halfway down, 5 laps complete. That time by. Roeder dropping back just a bit, about a car and a half behind Petty, as Petty still sets the pace. 6 laps complete. Waterman trying to hold on to that third spot, but he's got Lenny McQuaid breathing down his back bumper. McQuaid letting him know he's there off the second corner, trying to catch that front duo, but nothing doing. Petty still holding on. Contact. The 120 sideways off that fourth corner. And around he goes into turns 1 and 2. The 77, a little bit of contact there, and the 10 with nowhere to go, and the 93 just not paying attention as those three cars come together off the second corner. Jeff Waterman climbing out of his car quickly. He's definitely not happy with what has transpired over in the second corner. Lenny McQuaid stopping and then exchanging vows, if you will.
They're acting like pro stock drivers.
As neither driver. Go back to green. Petty and Roeder, your front row. Petty, a good jump on the start as he jumps out front. Roeder jumps in right behind him. McQuaid and the 46 Rotundo battling for that third spot down the back straightaway. Petty opens up a 2-car length lead over the rest of the field. Weston and the 77 of Bill Horse right now your top 6 cars. But Horse, he's got heavy pressure from the 0-8 of Rusty Bryant. For that 8th and final qualifying spot down the back straightaway. Bryant takes over that 6th position, and that's going to put him into a qualified spot with just a lap and a half to go. While Bill Wilcox now battling Horse on the inside, trying to get into that 7th spot. He wants to stop Cole in the consolation, and he's just got a half a lap left to do it. But out front, it's going to be looks like the 57 of Dave Petty Jr., second, the 41 of Pete Roeder, third. The 46 of Robert Rotundo, Gene Weston, Lenny McQuaid, and Rusty Bryant, your top 6. Billy Horse, Wild Bill Wilcox.
Cafe Noir.
Cafe Noir.
Black. No sugar. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at Seekonk Speedway. I'm Pete Silva. We're about ready for our second Street Stock Division heats. On the pole tonight, Captain Nick's Rock and Roll Bar, McGovern's Yellow Kittens, Block Island Recycling. From Block Island, number 13, it's a Rob Murphy. On the outside of Rob, the number 98 of John Greaves. On the inside of the second row, Jim's Truck and Auto M&S Auto Parts. Shamrock Acres from Hanover, number 76, Rich Napier. Westport Auto Recycling, BU Marine, brings us from Westport, number 14, Rich Turpinning. In 5th position, the number 65 of Ron Alluro. On the outside of Ron. On turn 4. Mark Cunha gives it the green and off they go. Johnny Greaves in the 98 gets the jump, looking for the inside groove, gets a little sideways but recovers. It's Greaves in the 98, Murphy in the 13, coming up behind. Rich Napier in the 76, 1, 2, 3 as you see it. 14 is Rich Turpinning, dropping off the pace just a bit. And Murphy in the 13 loses control with debris flying. He cannot get that back into the groove, losing at least 7 positions. And so the battle is between the 98 of Greaves and the 96 of Sparky Arsenal, who started in 7th position. Arsenal in the 96 really knocking at the door of Greaves. Eddie Plant in the 05, rounding out the top 5 in this second Street Stock Division heat. Arsenal getting on the outside, trying to make his way around Greaves. They go 3 deep into the back straight, looking at the halfway mark. Arsenal rips around that turn. Greaves drops way back, and the number 25 of Dave Furtado finds the vulnerability and takes the spot. He started in 9th position in this race. Meanwhile, midfield, there's bumping, there's grinding going on as Eddie Plant in the 05 gets tapped. Rob Demers in the 30, still fighting it out. A lot of dirt on that turn 1 corner. Into the wall sideways goes Demers in the number 30, bringing out our first caution. Outside in the 25 car, be able to outpower Arsenal. Arsenal does get the jump he's looking for with a 2-car length gap. Tremendous job. And the rear of the field goes just about 3 deep around turn 1, but look at Arsenal in the 96 go. Furtado in the 25 now trying to make a comeback. The 98 of Greaves, who started on the outside of the first row in 3rd position right now. Midfield. And we've got a wreck with a yellow spring lumbering down turn 1, doing a 360 and finding its way up to the infield. It's the 11 and the 75, Jerry Smith in the 11, and everybody locks it up and jams it up, trying to avoid the mess here on just before turn 1. They are more than halfway through this heat division, this heat race in this division. Furtado in the 25 once again lags behind on the restart, but they go single file down the back straight, 1, 2, and 3 as the 05 of Eddie Plant finds himself in 3rd position. With 2 laps to go, the 11 car of Jerry Smith, previously involved in that accident that brought the caution out, is finding trouble making his way, keeping pace in the pack. Meanwhile, Arsenal looking at the white flag with 1 lap to go. The 98 of John Greaves, who started on the outside of the first row looking so good, now finds himself in 5th position. Going way high on turn 2 is the 76, the 13, and the 30 make contact, looking for the checkered flag. Here it is, Sparky Arsenal, Dave Furtado, and the 05 of Eddie Plant, 1, 2, 3. Hotline for all the Speedway action. That's 401-941-B101, and we update that as soon as we get the racing results on Saturday night.
2 complete, 1 remain for the Street Stocks as they attempt to qualify for the feature event. This is the 3rd, 10 laps of distance, 6 cars qualify. This is the way they're slated to go. On the pole out of Fall River, Mass, the Aero Auto Sales, Pereira's Grain and Supply, Roberts Formal's number 6, that's Jack Furtado. Sutcliffe gonna bring him down. Waving the green flag, we're underway. Sutcliffe trying to hold on the outside, but Furtado getting the edge through 1 and 2. Sylvia sits third. Wainwright on the outside. And the 116 is Sylvia. Battle for that fourth spot. Gary Wainwright a little bit sideways through the corner. Falls back just a bit as he jumps behind the 116. And oh, Clements and Farrell, a little bit of contact. The 4 also getting a little tap in the door. Clements keeps going, but Farrell not able to go as he sits in the infield, and that's going to bring us under a caution for the first time in this event. This time by, we should go back to green. Mark Cunha, your starter, on the stand, waving the green flag. Furtado and Sutcliffe underway. Sutcliffe holding on the outside. Furtado trying to hold on to the inside, a little bit loose off the corner. And Sutcliffe sideways through 3 and 4. And it's a dead heat across the finish line for that lap. And Furtado goes sideways around in turns 1 and 2. Brings that car into the infield, and we stay on the green, but you can see a bunch of dirt on the speedway as Furtado gets that 6 refired and back underway. Sutcliffe, your leader, but the 116, and Jim Sylvia sits second. Sean Sylvia, third, the 89, and Gary Wainwright, fourth. Kohler, fifth. Jerry DeGasperi, sixth. 6 cars will qualify for the feature event. This is their last chance other than the consolation event. Black flag is coming out for the 22 of Paul Mealy. Larry. You can see some smoke off the right rear of that car.
Fortunately, a lot of that landscaping done on turn 2 shouldn't affect the driving too much because they go into a higher line as they go down that back straight. If it was on turn 1, it would be a little more treacherous, or on turn 3.
Sutcliffe still showing the way. Jim Sylvia second, the 116, but Sean Sylvia right on his back bumper. Behind them, Gary Wainwright and Rob Kohler battle for that 4th spot. And battling for that 6th and final qualifying spot, Jerry DeGasperi and Joe Farrow, 71 and 59, as they've just got 3 laps to decide who's going to be the last qualifier out of this heat event. This time by, 2 to go for Sutcliffe. He's opened up a 6-car length lead over the rest of the field. Second, 116, still holding on.
Commander.
Sylvia and Sylvia, second and third. White flag is flying. 1 lap to go for Sutcliffe. DeGasperi and Farrell. That's going to be the deciding factor on who goes to the feature and who goes to the consolation event.
The feature.
Out of 3 and 4, it's all Jeff Sutcliffe, as he's going to take down the win. Second, Jim Sylvia, Sean Sylvia, Gary Wainwright, Rob Kohler, and it's going to be Jerry DeGasperi, the 6th and final qualifier out of this heat event. The rest of the cars will go into one of the 2 consolation events coming up later on.